Hi, hello, it's Nikki and welcome to my messy bookshelf. Today I'm here to share my weekly reading wrap up. And I have finished some things, I have started some things, and I have made progress with some others. And I think before I get started, I think this time, instead of starting with the books that I've finished, I think I'm going to go by event. And yeah, I had a great reading week this week. It was a great reading week. So the first event that I'm participating in this month and probably for the rest of the year is the Randy Ray's new book club called the Seriously Well Read Book Club. And for April, the group read is The Hobbit. And I did finish this week. This is a reread for me, and I loved it just as much as I have in the past. I think I fell more in love with Bilbo this time around, and more out of love with the dwarves this time around. But if you have never heard of The Hobbit, and I highly doubt that any of you have not, it is about a hobbit who goes on adventures with a wizard named Gandalf and some dwarves to reclaim some lost treasure of the dwarves from a dragon. And yeah, it was a reread, like I said, and Bilbo this time, I just fell in love with his character even more. With the books that I have read of Tolkien's, The Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite, but this one, probably my second favorite of the ones that I have read. And yeah, it was wonderful, just as wonderful as I remember, and excuse me if you see there is a fly buzzing around. My husband's been trying to get it all day with the fly swatter that zaps. But yes, I did finish The Hobbit, and this actually also fulfilled a prompt for Follow the Yellow Book Road, which I am also participating in, and this fulfilled the Tin Man prompt for Found Family. And yes, I loved it just as much. The secondary read for the Seriously Well Read Book Club is How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler and Charles Van Doren. I have read this before. I don't think I've ever fully read it, but I have made it most of the way through. This time, I think I only made it like 6 pages in, but not because I am not enjoying it, but because I am reading so many fun things this week and this month. So I will get back to it and pick it back up, but yeah, I only made it like 6 pages in, and yeah, we'll get back to it. The next event that I am participating in is People April, and I did make progress in the group read, The Bluestockings, A History of the First Women's Movement, and I am really enjoying this. So far, we have met a bunch of different women, very educated women, and learned more about their stories. The last couple chapters, I have been introduced to a couple women that I either had never heard of or I'd heard of them and I didn't know anything about their lives. And it's been fascinating. And seeing how their world was sort of connected by acquaintances, like people that they all knew. So mutual acquaintances, that's the word I was looking for. But it's been fascinating so far, and I really find her writing to be very engaging, and I am not bored at all while I am reading this. So I know there's mixed feelings about it in the group chat on Discord, but for me, I am loving it. I did not read anything else for People April this week, but I probably will be starting something soon. The next thing I am participating in is Audiomiles, and that is an event / book club that I am co-hosting with my friend Jessica from On a Stack of Books. We are reading The Dutch House together, and I am loving that book so far. So I did have a bit of a slower week with that book this week. I did write down my numbers. I am now 41% complete with that book. And we are only allowed to listen to the book when we are engaged in a physical activity. For myself, I am only allowed to listen to the book while I am walking, biking, or on the elliptical. And my youngest, my daughter, was on spring break this past week, and I did have plans to go to the park and do all of these long walks, but she got sick. So we have been pretty much inside the house all week. So I did do a few indoor treadmill walks, and like I said, 41% complete, and this week I only walked 5.08 miles. Next week I think I will get much further along, but the book I am loving so far. I did not expect to love Tom Hanks's narration, but I am. And we're following a brother and a sister who are remembering some past trauma in their family and their lives. So I'm really enjoying it. And that one, once I am finished with it, will also be fulfilling a prompt for Follow the Yellow Book Road, and that will be the Wicked Witch prompt for Green with Envy. The next, I wouldn't say event, but like sort of project that I finished this week was my Read the Bible in a Year. And this is the second full read through that I have done of the Bible. And I am trying to, every time I do this, read a different translation of the Bible. This time it was the CSB version, the Christian Standard Bible. And I really enjoyed it much more this time around than I did last year when I did it. And I was following along with the Bible recap program. So really happy to have made it through a second time fully through the entire Bible. So love that. And moving on, we are on to just stuff for fun. Stuff that I am just reading because I want to. And this one I started this week, and this is The True Story of Raja the Gullible by Rabi Alameddin. And this is a story about a son, a middle-aged son, and his mother, and their relationship with a backdrop of social unrest and, some bad things happening. And so far, I think I am on chapter 3 right now. I am really loving the relationship between Raja and his mother. They have been bickering since the book started in a very loving, close way. And it really reminds me of the way that my late mother, and I used to bicker all the time. We loved each other so much. We were closer than any two people on earth, but we were constantly bickering. So it really touched me, and I am going to continue this week, and I think this will be a relatively quick read, but I did start this. And then the next thing that I actually finished was book 1, Dungeon Crawler Carl, and this book was an absolute blast. Everybody says this book is a blast, or this series is a blast, and I had so much fun with this book. This book is hilarious. It is hilarious, but I got so much extra enjoyment out of it, I think, because there are so many references to video games and Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, any kind of tabletop game that you might have played when you were younger, or if you're like myself, when you are an adult. But I don't think you need to have been a gamer or someone who plays D&D or Pathfinder, but I think I got a lot of extra chuckles out of some of the things that were happening in here because they are things that I have played or experienced while playing D&D. One of the spells in here is one that my character, I usually pick a similar type of character. One of the spells in here is one that I frequently have used, so it has been very funny. And I enjoyed it so much, and my husband picked it up as soon as I finished, and he's already finished with it. So we are now fighting over book 2. So I did run out and get book 2 because I really wanted to know what happened next. So I am mildly obsessed with this series now, and I will probably make my way through the whole series in the coming months, but I will probably finish this today. I will probably finish this today, if not tomorrow. But yeah, we're both reading book 2 now. So very, very fun and hilarious. It's exactly the kind of book that I need in between all of the other things. And then finally, the last thing that I have here is The Stand by Stephen King. And I am still reading this. I'm about 300 pages in, making steady progress. But I keep alternating between, oh my gosh, this book is so good, to, oh my gosh, this book is so nasty. So I have no plans to put this book down without finishing it because it is so good. But every so often, I would say every few pages or so, I'm like, okay, that was nasty. I need to put this down and pick up something else now. There is a lot of swearing in this book, but, you know, I can sort of glance over that and, you know, make my way past that. But this book has been so fascinating so far. I was unfamiliar with Stephen King's writing before this, but his storytelling skills are on point, I will say, just from the 300 pages that I have read. And I really want to know what happens next, but I am also constantly scared of what the next page is going to bring, because there have been some nasty things and some pretty nasty illustrations in here. So I am going to continue with this, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens next. But this is what I have been up to this week, and it's been a lot of fun. I would love to see or hear what you all are reading and if you've read any of these. But I thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.